Oh shit.
You didn't disclose that, saying this could be used against you in the court of law. No, I heard someone call my name. Dumb.
That is my real name.
Are you gonna watch it later? Are you gonna watch it later
what,
for fun? Oh, okay. Why? Are you shitting me?
Oh, come on, yo. Come on, yo.
One of the things that's really going
There's
through my
people
mind this whole
that
year.
watch freaking conversations doing virtual poker.
Political.
Okay.
But my daughter turned 13 this last year.
Are you going to share the profits with us? You going to share the profits?
Year,
Why?
But I mean, think about this. My daughter turned 13. My son turned 16. Both of those years in my life, 1983, year I got my first fucking car, right? 1970 Carmen Ghia. There was the first car I painted all over. 70 Carmen Ghia. When I turned 13, I changed schools. 83. In 83, I got a Carmen Ghia. But going over to my mind, what was my 16-year-old year was like, I worked at putt-putt golf and games on the weekends, late shift. I played basketball. All of the basketball teams from fucking Columbus, Franklin County, everybody was a putt-putt on the weekends because I worked there and I could hook you up with tokens. I could get you into the batting cage after midnight. Yes, we had an arcade, and what was I?
The 80s were a magic. The 80s were.
And you know, when I was 13, I changed schools, so I remember that very well. And then I look at my daughter and my son and go, Jesus fucking Christ! I am so sorry we fucked this so bad up. I mean, god damn, my son ain't never gonna get laid. It's horrible.
I feel bad for teenagers. Yeah, right now, early 20s. Did you see this skit on Saturday Night Live? I want to see the bottom of your face. It's funny as shit. They were together for 3 months. They were sleeping together. Never saw the bottom of her face yet.
Are you, Dump Trump, are you Cuban?
No, I just got a good tan.
Okay.
My family came over from Europe, from Poland in 1906, and I said, if Trump wins again, I'm migrating the fuck back. 120 years is enough.
Nope.
Not the Poland, it's too fucking cold. But I heard that some of these countries in the Caribbean are offering, like, I'm working from home since March, and some of these countries in the Caribbean that you need a passport to are saying, we'll give you 6-month visas to come stay at our beachfront home, and you can work from home with our internet. So I would do that for 3 years. Well, they should pay you $80. Fuck.
Up until I hurt my back.
Which cartel?
I planned
Which cartel
on
is he part of?
retiring in Central or South America.
What cartel is he part of? Come on. All the money goes through the cartels. I'm sure there's some good spots. But thousands of people wouldn't be walking hundreds of miles to try to get to the U.S.
Of Costa Rica that you can retire on like $2,200
Costa
a month.
Rica, I heard some nice parts of Panama.
I heard Costa Rica was hella expensive.
Really?
Parts of Brazil.
Inland.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's real poverty too, right? No.
Well, what do you mean by poverty? Because like the
They have dirt floors.
two
No,
grocery
and
bags of fresh vegetables and fruits will cost you like $3.95. So it really depends on what you're talking about. Are they poor?
I
You
can't
know,
live
they
on dirt
produce all their own
floors.
food. It's all local market. You know,
No, I can't live with dirt floors. Sorry. Bugs crawling up your leg while you're inside your house. I mean, what?
I've actually come full circle because growing up on this, I just moved back to this farm 2 years ago. I grew up here, moved away to Dublin Powell area of Columbus, and then I just moved back onto the farm 2 years ago. But I grew up, I mean, literally, we grew all of our own food. Grandpa basically made his money raising bees. He had
So
350
that's a
hives,
tough way to make a buck.
yeah, spread out between Ohio and Florida. Clover honey in the
Holy.
spring in Ohio, orange blossom honey in Florida during the winter, and we grew up growing all our own food. I wasn't out there around a lot of people, and here I am back at 53 going, we'd better grow our own fucking food. It might not be a bad idea to go ahead and get some little Stinson cows, and we already got our chickens back. Trees are still here, so we started expanding our growing operation, and actually started to homestead this farm again because of society being so fucked up right now. Otherwise, fuck this. And I love it. I love it here. Mm-hmm. Actually, no. For people that actually want to work it, you can turn, if you want to grow mushrooms, gourmet mushrooms, out of your 20 by 20 fucking garage, there are people doing 150 grand a year on just growing gourmet mushrooms and bought a free dryer. There are people that are
Psychedelic
homesteading.
mushrooms?
No, on actual gourmet mushrooms. Of course, there's people that grow psychedelics and weed and everything else. But yeah, there's what we're trying to do is grow our own food, doing things that we enjoy doing, and then diversifying income from that. Like, for instance, if you just have 24 chickens, that's not a whole lot of chickens, but you'll wind up with, several dozen than you can eat. Sell those for $3 for free range farm chickens. Locally produced food is huge right now, bigger now than ever before. So microgreens, bagging your own salads. You're also allowed to do cottage foods without a food license. So we have apple trees, our own apple pies, locally. Locally. Yep. Yeah, local farm markets. There's even a service. We're not on it yet because we're just now getting that part of the farm going again after, Jesus. When did I move away? 80, 89? I moved away, I think it was. Not yet. Not yet.
God
We
bless
plan
farmers,
to.
man. You guys work
We
for your
plan
fucking money.
to. But yeah, they even have a service here in Franklin County where you can order our shit just like you do DoorDash. They're actually local farmers, locally produced, and you can order your farm market food delivered to your house.
That's cool.
It's pretty cool. You know?
Even
But
in
yes,
Florida?
actually there's a huge new generation of people running farms right now.
Just
Because Big Farm took over so many of the farms, and the price of land is so unbelievably expensive. I mean, I'm on 10 acres outside of Franklin County. Just 10 acres. The land alone is probably... Yes, that's the plan. That is the plan. My daughter actually
plus
wants
Trump's tariffs.
to have horses.
Trump put tariffs on China, and our farmers got fucked there too. They stopped China from buying from our farmers, and they were pouring out milk while kids were starving. In the beginning of the pandemic, do you remember that?
Yep. Yeah.
They were pouring out milk and slaughtering. Part of it was because restaurants were shut down too. But
Well,
the
it was
military
because
should
of
have been able to distribute it. That
guys. Good hearing, Jim.
Yeah, but come on. There's a lot of people starving. Get the military to distribute that to homeless shelters.
No, brothers. The reason that was happening...
food shouldn't go to waste.
Someone, hold on. No. It shouldn't have if we could have mobilized to do it. But what was going on is the distribution was the issue. If I'm on a farm,
that's what the military's good at.
500 cows in a deer. But I am supplying to this type of manufacturing. And that is my contract, and that is where my shit goes.
And that's where the bottom fell out, because the restaurants stopped ordering. The restaurants stopped ordering, so the bottom fell out. But if the military were activated and we distributed the food
on the shelves, we had all the issues where
compensate the farmers instead of letting them waste it.
But it's because we didn't have enough time. We honestly didn't. I mean, we didn't.
Well, you
even have
didn't,
enough
but
time.
if you got the help
and
from the
only thing
military
we really sold
and
this
their
year was
extra
tomatoes and strawberries.
That might be one or two instances. Most of the trucks still roll across the United States. Yeah. That was a very bad time. That doesn't support giving letting all the farmers go broke by killing their livestock and wasting the milk. All right, thank you. Let's agree on that. No. Trump, no, come on. It wasn't any political point. Trump never really activated the military to distribute medicine, PPE, and food until it was way too late. So am I. The food, right. The military is great at distribution. You know, they're geniuses. They're the best we have. But nobody helped them with it. There was no outlet for it, and the government should have came in and provided a distribution channel. Yeah, but they needed bigger help. They needed government help. They needed military help. The city couldn't do it. What's the Defense Act? What is the Defense Act that helps distribution? The Military Defense Act that the president invokes. They're assisting. They're not controlling. They're not taking over the farms. They're just assisting, letting the farmers get some money and get.
You see, if federally, which believe me, I am all about less federal government. But if the federal government would have jumped up, because this is and was a national emergency, if they would have jumped up and said, now look, here's what we're going to do, here's how we're going to handle it, we could have taken care of distribution. I don't think so in this particular instance. I think they could have sold it. I think they could have, and they should have.
Well, that's why he makes the big
But
bucks.
you see,
But
hold on.
he should have stopped Europe too. Most of it came from Europe to New York.
And this is also pretty interesting. I left the farm. I was an insurance guy, okay? And I spent my entire life in insurance. I also wound up working a stint with FEMA doing home inspections, okay? I was actually deployed to Houston. There were 2 hurricanes that hit, Katrina, and then what was the second one right after? Was that Ike? Anyway, but I worked Galveston, Houston, then back up to Beaumont, over into New Orleans. I went the fuck home when I got to New Orleans because they had got a hold of me. Back then we just had pagers. It might have been Harry. It might have been Harry or Ike. Oh, man, did you just hit that flush?
No, I didn't.
Anyway, so I worked FEMA, and I've worked national disasters. They came in so late, it wasn't really our fault that we went in so late to New Orleans, but we were late getting there. Shit was bad when we got there. But if they would have, people did get behind, and they do get behind, like the tsunami, okay? In Asia, we were 100% behind. Let's send in some money and help these people out. And for hurricanes and when there are big natural disasters. So if he would have framed this, yes, we could have. I think that's a falsehood because I am all about less federal government. You know, I do not believe that.
But they can help you, not control you, only when they're helping in national emergencies.
Right. Yes, I do. People would have bitched.
Some people bitch about everything. No matter what you do. Einstein was called a fool. I mean, sometimes you just got to withstand the name calling.
There's no doubt in my mind that President Trump's focus remained on the economy, period. We have to make sure the economy keeps the fuck going.
As long as the stock market went up.
And it wound up being to our detriment, in my opinion.
Greed.
Greed is good. I'm from the 80s.
Wall Street. We're in debt to China. The debt interest? The last time it was balanced was under Clinton. He balanced the budget. We had surplus under Clinton. We had a surplus. He was the only president in our lifetime that we had a surplus. And the reason, the way he did it,
However,
he went through all the shit that the defense and everyone else buys and spends $100 for a hammer and shit like that. And he fucking hired, created a committee to get fair prices on everything that we fucking bought. And they weren't just blank checks written out to the fucking relatives of the politicians.
But actually, a much better way to look at that.
Surplus.
A much better way to look at that is during that time period, the federal government was absolutely gridlocked. They couldn't do shit. Therefore, they were unable to fuck with us. They let the American economy run wild, which gave us the excess of the 80s. The less federal government interference you have, period, the better off you are. Yep, because there was no federal stopping us.
Well, the Republicans are big on small government, and you just had 4 years of it. And how do we do? Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? Oh, come on. No, the last 3 years of Obama's presidency, they created more jobs. But I pay more taxes under Trump than I do under Obama. I don't get my mortgage. I don't get my mortgage deduction like I used to. But he gave the fucking rich people trillions of dollars worth of tax cuts. I get less of a. I paid the same amount. I paid like $12,000 in taxes on like $70,000, and I went down. And instead of getting $3,500 back like I was doing under Obama, I get $1,500 to $2,000 back now under Trump.
But do you have the 4.8? Okay.
So he cut out the deductions.
I was trying to figure out if you would have stayed in with the fucking 4.8, but the blind was way over there. So I was assuming you didn't have the 4.8. I only stayed in because I was on Jack 4 and water spare tires 4. Yeah.
Well, I'll take
the spare tires. Yay.
And Trump wants to cut out health care for 20 million people during the pandemic. Where do you get the logic in that? He wants to cut out the pre-existing conditions, even though he says he's not now. They said they were going to repeal and replace. Remember repeal and replace? They never had a plan. They never had a plan. No. They're big.
I agree with that.
Trump lied over 24,000 times. 24,000 times. More than the last 20 presidents put together. Oh, really? Obama is you can look me in the eye and say Obama is just as ruthless as Trump.
I mean, didn't Obama bomb a whole bunch of people in the Middle East?
Did Biden go grab a woman by the pussy? Did Obama go grab him? Yeah, well, she should have. To elect a president who thinks that way? Do you have a wife? Do you have a daughter?
Hold on.
Do you have a wife or daughter?
I actually do have a daughter.
This is what he thinks about women. This is what Trump thinks about women. Okay, well then that's why.
And once again,
that's one of 100 reasons why Trump is one of the most despicable people I ever heard of.
A very interesting homesteading conservative
that's your opinion,
hippie
man.
with his
That
weed
is my opinion, and everyone. I respect everyone.
Where I come from on
I
that.
respect
It's
everyone.
like
You know
have
what?
a
I give
13
you
and a
thumbs up for that,
16-year-old.
man.
And as someone with a 13 and a 16-year-old,
I have two daughters.
And I didn't agree with Obama. If he came to me, my son, and said, "Dad, I want to go into politics. I really admire what Obama has done, and I want to be just like him," I would disagree with his politics, but I would be proud of my son. Okay?
There you go.
If my son came to me and said, "Dad, I want to be just like Donald Trump," I would bat him upside the head with a fucking baseball bat.
Okay.
And I would fix his situation right the fuck now. I could not, and to me that is a deciding factor for
He's
a president.
self-centered, and he has no morals. In my opinion. No, he didn't say that.
Where I think where I disagree with both of
On
you
what,
is
Fox.com?
either one of you thinking that either side truly serves the American people anymore.
Breitbart?
Yo, preach it, man. I agree
It's
with you,
taken
Tim.
out of context. Did you hear how...
Did someone just give me a preach it on the believing that the federal government truly has the hearts and minds of the people in their best interest? Because as of right now, they don't. Neither side truly looks at America and says,
George Washington
I
said
disagree.
that a two-party
Biden's been talking
system
about
would
bringing
ruin
the
this
country together.
And you know what?
He wants to heal the country. Biden wants to heal the country, and Trump wants to divide it. It's us against them.
So let me ask you, what's the incentive of him to divide the country? If he wants to be
He thrills because it strengthens his base. For some reason, his base loves that kind of stuff. You see what they did in Texas, and they surrounded the Biden bus, and
why?
I'm not gonna lie, that was actually
Biden
funny to see that all go down on
the
the
problems with Biden were evident.
If your wife was on the bus,
Why
the kids
did
were on
the
the bus, you
Democratic
wouldn't
Party give us Biden?
You'd probably upset.
Yeah, but I mean, those people weren't gonna go and bash their skulls in. I don't
Probably
think
not.
so.
But
Again, I can tell you for every instance
you were saying
that
the president
where we talk
controls
about
the party.
that bus, there's about
It was the Democratic
10
Party
instances
that gave
of
us
people
Biden.
intimidating the conservatives.
The last
Simply
part of
because
that,
of nothing else. You know what I mean? Like bullying.
the last sentence I didn't get.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, why?
But Trump
were we
Trump
given
comes out and
Biden?
says, "Don't be." He should never say, "Don't be violent." He says, "Well, I appreciate them people. They're patriots." I mean, he never denounces people who are in white supremacy. He never denounces.
Right. Oh, you're right. You're absolutely right.
No. He did denounce white supremacy. There's tons of videos of him saying, "I denounce white supremacists."
After they asked him 10 times.
Being bombarded with that question must get annoying for him, man.
What just happened?
Agreed.
Both sides have an extreme, but Biden is much more moderate than Trump is. Trump is more extreme than Biden. They both sides have an extreme. Well, Trump don't. Trump says if they vote for me and they like me, I like them.
That pot.
Huh? If they vote for me and they like me, then I like them.
What you got over there?
Now what? No.
Just so you know, that was a very mathematical damn bet.
So you don't agree with the BLM at all, I guess.
Well, no, but like, somebody should announce what's happening with that group. Nobody seems to be doing that.
They denounce the violence of it, but not the ability to march. The ability to march is our constitutional right.
Right. What about the ability to riot and loot? No one's talking about that.
That feels like a damn...
You're talking about the 5% who created violence. They should be locked up for 10 years.
Yeah, I think it's a lot more than that. Whoa. 2 pairs? Okay, flush.
I knew you had a flush.
All right, 2 pair.
When that other 2 hit, I was worried.
Who is? The extremists are. The extremists are. The only thing that their Black Lives Matter people are asking for is, look, if a cop creates if a cop creates 10 different instances of bad decision making, and he should be gone from the force. The one guy had 15 episodes of excessive violence.
I got a question, though. What does Black Lives Matter really support, though? Because I went to a Bellingham rally up in Washington, and literally they were chanting socialism. They don't want to just deal with the cops. They
I've never seen that on TV.
Deface our entire system and change it, and that I just disagree with.
Yeah, and you won't see it on TV.
Of what Black Lives Matter was.
That was an official rally from them, though. So that's what I see, and I just disagree.
Yeah, you won't see that on TV. Trump.
You see a lot of other it on TV too, right? I mean,
no.
Oh. I don't need to look. I'm not all for Black Lives Matter. I'm worried if I had to choose, I'm on the cop side. Okay, because a cop is one of the toughest fucking jobs in the world to try to decide whether to shoot somebody in 10 seconds or not, 3 seconds or not. All right, but the fact that 60-70% of the people marching for Black Lives Matter were white people, it made me stop and look and say, you know what? The whole world is kind of supporting.
Let's all take a deep breath. We've been getting along wonderfully. Yay.
Oh shit! What have I got myself into?
Somebody.
What have I got myself into?
No, dude.
Oh.
You raised. I was
I
happy
did
with the
raise, but I
5,000.
didn't expect to go all in. Oh no,
No,
dude.
I don't.
I'm as scared as you are.
I'm not
You
all
know
for him.
what?
I feel like going on the website.
I want to see this. You
I
guys
think
probably got a flush.
I think it's excessive.
I don't have a flush.
At times.
Oh, no, you got the ace
three of
too,
a kind.
bro. I had the jack too.
Oh
thought
shit!
one of
I
your
thought one of y'all
excessive.
had a flush.
they were excessive.
God damn it!
Something should be done with educating the police
played,
and getting rid of the bad ones. That's all I'm saying.
I got lucky on that river.
You know, I'm not a big advocate for Black Lives Matter. I'm just saying it's a force. It's one of the
Police
things that
reform
divided the
is-
country that we have to start healing and bringing us together. There's a lot of things
Well, we
dividing the
definitely
country,
got
and
to
that's
start
one of them.
healing. I agree there.
That's my peace, love, and understanding. I mean, what the fuck?
Weed.
Stop
sure.
the division.
I agree with you.
Stop the divisive
Yeah.
rhetoric.
I have to admit,
You know?
Carmela got my attention when she said they were going to legalize weed. I was like, you go, baby.
Hey,
That's
I'll
my
tell you
girl
guys
right
something
there.
that's great.
I'm in Florida.
Well, look,
Legalized.
check it out, dude. Like in Oregon, they just legalized psilocybin, and in DC,
No
they
shit.
decriminalized magic mushrooms. So
Wow.
it's all
Oh,
good.
shit. I did
That's the
not,
one
yeah,
thing
I
I
did
agree.
hear that. I heard that from Logan. I did hear that.
Yep.
Parrot twos. Here you go.
I know. And Biden made some pretty horrible statements about weed just this year.
I didn't hear him.
But if they've got it together now, that's all I need.
It's up to states. Every state is
In
its
all
own
honesty,
union, kind of.
This is
I mean, the only
almost
thing the
political,
feds
but
would
not
add,
really.
if the feds decriminalize it, then you could get these dispensaries getting actual bank accounts. Right now, you got to
here's
deal in
where the
cash
bullshit
because
is.
it's not
It's
federally.
been legal. Full recreational legal
In
has
states,
been
in
legal in
states.
Washington fucking D.C.
But the Fed hasn't decriminalized it. So
But
they
it's
can't
legal
start a
in
bank
DC,
account.
but not in federal. I know.
Oh, I know. Well, they're still getting money, tax money, just from the sales.
Well, I told you guys
But
I was
yeah,
raised
we need
on
to
a
pay
very,
off the national
very
debt, and that's a good way to start.
Christian farm. I never smoked weed. I smoked once when I was like 19 with a girlfriend. Then I never smoked weed again.
I started when I was
I'm
15.
smoking now, brother.
Now,
I'm
40 years
smoking right
later,
now,
I'm
too.
just still doing it.
But in 2017, I hurt my back, and I finally wound up with a condition called arachnoiditis, which is it's a bunch of bullshit, but spinal cord adhered to the arachnoid lining, which is the third lining. It's a waterproof lining around your spinal cord and the spinal fluid. So like and like one of my buddies was like knew what I was going through. He says you should try this. It was actually a
CBD
my
oil?
cousin's grandson. No weed. So, and I had never smoked. So he gets out, his little baggie from his car and gives it to me. I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this? He says, you've really never? I said, no. He says, well, hold on. He grabs a pipe and he shows me how to work the carburetor. He said, okay, now when you get home, hit this like 4 or 5 times, put it down, and don't smoke anymore for a while. I'm like, yeah, what the fuck ever. So I go home and I sit down and I'm watching Star Trek, and I hit this a few times, right? I'm like, I don't feel shit.
It's my
I
last hand. My battery's on 0.
Oh, okay.
So if I
smoked
burn
that,
out, it was nice
and
talking to
then
you guys. I appreciate you
not
sticking
feeling
around
nothing
and
else.
have some
So I grab it,
conversation.
and I hit 4 or 5 more times, and I set
Yeah,
it
man.
down.
It's a good
Next
good
thing I
talk.
know, it's 6 hours
Same
later.
here.
Talk.
God bless
and
you
I'm
all.
feeling good, and
Stay
yes,
healthy.
I've been a medical marijuana proponent
man.
ever
Amen,
since.
brother. Right back at you.
Yeah. I in Florida, I was so happy the first time I bought it legal. I said, me and my buddies were dreaming about this 40 years ago underneath a tree. And I wonder what president's going to be the first one to allow us to do this.
I'm just on the 9.
The guy I was smoking with 40 years ago?
Oh, shit.
Why? I got it. It says remove friend. But why would I hate the guy who let me smoke, who gave me legal weed? I thought you said I hate that guy. Hate what guy? Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I said someday this is going to be legal, and we don't have to go down to the fucking corner, buy it. And I figured before we die, whatever, it's going to be legal. I just didn't know what president would like kind of chill on it. I think Obama helped chill on it. I'm sure he smoked in college. He's the one that started letting states and stuff. He didn't raid states. Well, whoever it was, it's a combination person. George W. probably helped a little bit. He smoked a lot in college. God bless all yous, man. I got to run. You guys take care.
G-Dub did coke.
It was a fun conversation. Didn't fuck around with
weed. He was a coke man.
Oh, is he? Well, yeah, he had more money. Take care, guys.
All right, see you guys.
All right.
In the world.
Yeah.
Right now, Jesus.
Screaming at each other. Yeah.
Me, right there. Mm-hmm. I'm not a Democrat. I just don't like Trump. I think he's a dick.
Nah, man. I'm both, dude. Like I'm totally in the middle of the road, man. Like I have conservative and liberal values.
Me too.
You know what I mean? Like women should be able to do what the fuck they want with their body, but I do believe in some semblance of gun control. But I also believe in the death penalty.
And you know what I mean? It's so weird when friends and family try and talk to me. I have exceptionally strong views on all this shit just because of who I am, and they don't understand. Like, for instance, my daughter, do the math, boys. My daughter is 13 years old. My son is 16 years old. My daughter was conceived 10 months before my son, 14 months before my son was born. My daughter was frozen. She was a test tube baby, okay, because we had problems having children. My son weren't supposed to be able to get pregnant, getting ready to do the egg transfer to my ex-wife into her sister so she could try and surrogate for us because our doctor told us we were done trying to have kids, right? We weren't able to do that because my ex-wife got a pelvic infection, and anyway, when we were getting ready to do the transfer, my ex came home. She had to take a Depo-Provera shot because she couldn't start a period. Turns out she was pregnant. Now, just because my daughter was frozen doesn't mean I didn't think about what was going on in that fucking freezer. That was our baby. It was. I mean, to us, that was one of our children. We were waiting. We had to get ready. We did the transfer. We had 4 eggs left, and that became my daughter. So I do understand life at conception. However, I also understand that if someone were to rape my 13-year-old daughter, not only would I want her to easily be able to get an abortion, I would kill the person that did it. Not a question in my mind. I would go to jail. There are things worth dying for and breaking the law for.
Amen, brother. Yep.
Or at least give up to adoption if you don't have the necessary finances to support the child.
Now, hold on. If we're doing this off a biblical standpoint, if we're doing this off a biblical standpoint, if my daughter at 13 years old didn't scream loud enough, if she didn't scream loud enough, then she should be killed if she were raped. That's in Deuteronomy. Okay? So if we're doing it as a life at conception and a biblical standpoint of it being murder, got to argue that point.
Hey, good game, guys. I got to go.
Good game. Oh, he left.
But you're still looking at the whole, should she have to have that baby? I know a woman, hold on. I disagree. I should not put my daughter through that. I should not make her have that reminder and do that to herself. It's something that I've actually been through. There you go. My daughter should have that say. So therefore, so therefore does, yeah, absolutely. No, I'd kill
Oh
him.
yeah, absolutely.
Dude, I got a fucking backhoe and a front end loader. They'd never find that body. Shit. The Scioto River is like half a mile down and back. No, nobody gonna find that body. Yep, his daddy killed the shit out of him too. Oh, do you remember that? It was like, it must have been 15 years ago. That old man in Texas beat a guy to death that he caught fucking with his daughter. I was so behind that man. I was like, yeah, buddy, kill the fuck out of him. Whew. And I honestly did not know. Everyone always says, when you have a daughter, oh man, that's going to be, when she starts dating. And I was like, yeah, I'll be all right with it. I'm cool. I'm fairly socially liberal. Fuck that shit. I think about these little high school fucking boys right now, and I look at them, look at my daughter, I'm like, you little fuck. I was one. And I'm having problems with that shit, man. I am. I admit it. Fuck those little boys. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Whew. Yep. It does. I admit it. It changed me. Having children did change me. But you are exactly right about because I know, because I was that guy that got caught in his girlfriend's closet at 4 o'clock in the morning when I was 18. Problem was she was 16. She was 16, I was 18. Yeah. And her mama caught me. So I was that dude. And I look at other little boys, and then I look at my daughter and go, yep, I wouldn't have made it out of that fucking house. I would have killed me. If that were me, I would have just, that's it. I'm going to kill that boy.
Reminds me of that Peter Griffin from Family Guy. So I just want to talk to him holding a shot. I just want to talk to him.
Well, I get more talkative because I was sitting here and I decided to load a pipe at the end of the day, and I always smoke at the end of the day, and I didn't want to get up and walk all the way over there and pick up my weed. So I smoked an entire bowl of hash. I smoked straight keef. Very little. Ooh.
Oh, that's a good. First hand is, oh yes, yes, no. Oh well, if I'm playing it, let's fold a load of shit. Until the hands get good. Needs a fag. He's off to the alley to have a fag.
All right.
As we're saying in the
Oh
UK.
God, it's Daft, dude. I remember you.
Yes.
He's off to the alley to have a fag. We call
Gosh.
cigarettes in
Yeah,
the UK
we
fag.
talked before all this.
So he's
Well,
off
I
to
know,
the
man, but I
alley
remember you
to have
from
a
last
fag.
table, dude. You were just going on and on. You got everyone to hate you, man. What was that about?
Look at that, look at that. I would have won. Look at that shit. Yeah, in the UK, called cigarettes fags. So he's off to the alley to have a fag. He's going to have a fag in the alley.